Karate and also a member of Philippine Karatedo League. In today's episode, we will talk about the well-known karate punch, also known as Chudan Tsuki or Chudan Tsuki. I hope you enjoy it. Chudan Tsuki or Chudan Tsuki. Well, it is a karate punch wherein one arm is delivered to punch and the other one is retracting or reacting. So again, one arm is punching while the other one is reacting or retracting. Now before we start on learning how do we do or perform the technique, we should first know which part of the fist should hit the target or the surface of the target. Well, if you can see here, in our fist, the first two knuckles of our fist should be the ones to be used in hitting the target that we're about to punch. Why is it so? Well, the reason behind there is, let me compare it with an illustration. Let's say you're trying to lie down on a bed full of nails. Although we won't really try that one, but let's just imagine that. So for example, you're trying to lie down on a bed full of nails, and although it might hurt a little, but once you lie down completely, since your weight is distributed across all the nails on the bed, chances are it won't pierce through your flesh that much, right? Because your weight is distributed across all the nails on the bed. Now try this. What if you're gonna lie down on that same bed, but this time there's only one or two nails on it? Automatically, or most likely, those two nails or one nail will pierce through your flesh immediately, right? Well, it's because all of your body weight will fall on those two nails. All your body weight is concentrated on those two or one nail. So the same principle applies with using just the first two knuckles of our fist. You see, when we perform the karate punch, all of our body weight, especially if we're using let's say the forward stance of karate, or we're about to move towards our target, all of our body weight is behind our fist. Now, if you're just going to use the first two knuckles of your fist, imagine all your body weight behind those two knuckles. So it's going to create more damage technically, because it's going to pierce through the flesh of your opponent compared to if you're going to use all the four knuckles of your fist. So that's the reason why we use the first two knuckles of our fist when delivering the so-called karate punch. Now, let's go to the how do we perform the technique? Well, we will divide it into two parts. So first is the punching arm, and the second would be the pulling arm. So with the punching arm, let's say we're going to use my right arm, which is in your case, you're going to see it on your left side. So this is my punching arm. Now, most people, especially if we just watch movie, we tend to think that, oh, they're just raising their hand like this, or just raising their hand and it looks good, right? But actually, it shouldn't be that way. No. You see, let's say we're in this position. We're in this position, right? Usually when we practice, we do it this way. Now, the first move that we have to do is we should raise our hand going to the center of our body, around this height, around this part of our body. Then, the second movement would be to move the fist towards the target. Okay, so again, you raise this up to this point, then you move it towards the target. Why is it performed that way? Well, the reason behind would be, although karate punch may seem simple in practicing, but actually the principle should be we have to move our whole body as one unit. And to do that, we have to focus all our weights, all our weight into one punch, into one kick, or whatsoever. So in this case, we're trying to focus our whole body to that punch that we are delivering, which is in this case the Chudan Tsuki or the karate punch, the well-known karate punch. So from this position, we move it to this way, then punch to this way. Because if you're gonna punch from this side and you don't move it this way, chances are you're dividing your arm from your body. You're separating your arm, your shoulder from your body. So if you raise it this way, then punch this way, you see, you might hurt your shoulder, right? Because no one is or nothing is supporting your shoulder, right? When you punch it, when you punch the target. And imagine your target is bigger than you or harder than your fist. So most likely, it's gonna return the impact, right? So it's gonna damage your shoulder. Another is that you're fully depending on the muscles of your arm, right? So unless you're a well-trained, let's say weightlifter or bodybuilder, you won't be able to handle or perform that punch in a very strong way. Unlike if you're gonna do it this way, you raise it this way. Imagine if you're gonna try to pull this one down, push this one down, it's gonna be hard, right? Because from this position, it's already supporting your whole body is supporting your shoulder and your arm already. Now, if you're gonna deliver it, see, you get the point. Now, this time, all your body, your whole body, is behind your fist, compared to if you're gonna punch this way, to this way. That's how we perform the punch. How about the pulling arm? In karate, we call it hikite, which means pulling arm or pulling fist. So how do we do it? Well, there's a reason why we practice it that way. So one of the reasons would be the law of action and reaction, wherein in every action, there's an opposite reaction or reaction happens. So in this time or this technique, when we punch this, the reaction would be this. So if we punch this, there's a reaction, which is this one. It helps add strength and power to the punch that you're performing. See, imagine if you're starting with this one, and you punch. How about if you punch this way, you see? It adds the feeling that you're fully committing yourself to that punch or technique. That's why there's a hikite. Another reason is that when you pull something, then you hit it, it adds more force. So for example, you're pulling something, then you punch, back. You see? Instead of just punching it. But if you're practicing it, and you're in a real fight, you suddenly grab this one, then your reaction is pulling this one while punching this. You're pulling something, then you punch it, it adds an impact. So how do we perform hikite? So let's say we're in this position. I'm gonna use this to perform hikite or pulling arm this time. So this time, just like punching, we don't just put it here. So if our punch came from this side or in the center of our body towards to the impact or to the target, same goes with hikite. So from this position, we pull it from this way, as if you're brushing your elbow on your body, then you pull it back. Again, you're from this position, you brush it, then you pull it back. Another reason why we practice it this way, other than, of course, obviously we're trying to move our body as one unit, is you want to practice yourself defending your center line. As a martial artist, we should all know that the weakest part of our body is in the center line. So it's here, nose, windpipe, chest, solar plexus, and down below. So we have to practice ourselves protecting the center line of our body. So when we do hikite this way, so for example, you punch, then someone attacks you. Let's say someone attacks you and then you're from this position. Since you're practicing hikite in such a way that you're brushing it like this, so tendency if someone is attacking you, you can just block it from punching position, block it like this. See? Again, from this position, someone is attacking you, you pull your hand this way, so you blocked the attack, then you brush. That's the reason why, well, personally, I practice hikite in that way, and I believe most of the kata practitioners, when in Shitoryu or in Shotokan or in other styles of karate, they tend to practice hikite this way. So let me show you how to do Chudan Tsuki as a whole, using the punching part and the pulling part. So I'm going to do it from this side. So from this side, do it. Again. Again. So from this side, I do it this way. This way. See? There's a brushing impact there. Another one. See? Now from this side, let's see. In this position, I punch and I do the hikite. Again. Again. You should start from basic, meaning to say you have to know where your fist goes until such time that you get used to it, and it goes faster along the way. You shouldn't rush yourself. You know, it's not about how fast you look, but how correct you deliver the technique. Now, how do we apply it? I mean, in a real life situation, of course, you're not gonna just walk and just do this. Or if you're in a fighting or fighting in a tournament or so forth, you're not just gonna stand like this and you're just gonna deliver your punch like this, right? So I'm gonna show you just a glimpse of how do we do it, or how can we perform it. Of course, you can have your own variation, but let's try this one. So from a fighting position, you can punch like this. Again, fighting position. Now, what if you're walking on the street? You're just standing like this, normal. How will you do it? So someone tries to attack you. You want to use Chudan Tsuki to defend yourself, not just to attack someone. So in this position, you can just move your leg. I mean, like one of your leg, move it backward to show a forward stance. So from this position, again. Position. This position. So I hope this episode is somehow helpful to you. May you be a beginner in karate or in martial arts as a whole, or you're already an advanced player. I hope the principles that we discussed, the basics of how to perform Chudan Tsuki, it might be a little different from your case if you're practicing a different style than Shitoryu, but it should almost use the same principle. I mean, that the whole body should be behind the fist, you should have a stable stance, and should use your whole body to develop that power. So guys, if you like this video, please like this video. You can also click on the subscribe button so that you'll be updated on the future episodes that we will be having related to martial arts and karate specifically. And also you can like our Facebook page, which is also shown in the description box below. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Again, this is Jodz of ShitoGuy Martial Arts. And stay strong, stay open.